They told me I'd be dead by 30. Last week, I handed them a lease to their own building. They told me I wouldn't make it past 30, that I'd either be dead or in jail. Last week, I signed the deed to my third property. I was the screw-up in the family, the kid who got suspended for fighting, who failed sophomore year, who got caught shoplifting a candy bar and spent a night in juvie. Every Thanksgiving, my uncles would pull me aside, offer me fake wisdom, and then whisper to each other like I wasn't in the room. He's going down the same path as his dad. My dad was an addict. He disappeared when I was 8, so maybe I did have a chip on my shoulder. Maybe I was angry, but I wasn't stupid. When I turned 17, I got into a fight that put a kid in the hospital. He wasn't innocent either. We'd been going at it for months, but I threw the last punch, the one that landed me in cuffs. I got charged with assault. I sat in court with a public defender and a mom who looked like she hadn't slept in days. The judge could have ruined my life, but he didn't. He gave me 90 days of community service and mandatory therapy. I didn't want to go, but I went. My therapist was a woman named Carmen. She looked like someone who drank tea and walked barefoot in the woods. But when I told her I hated everything, my family, my past, my life, she didn't flinch. "You're not broken," she said. "You're bored. Bored people break things to feel alive. Let's find you something else to build." That stuck. A week later, my neighbor tossed his broken lawnmower. I asked if I could try fixing it. Spent 4 hours on YouTube, then another 2 in the garage. It worked. After that, I was hooked. Engines became my therapy. I fixed everything I could find: mowers, snow blowers, scooters, old trucks. By 19, I was flipping machines for extra cash. At 20, I'd made 15K. At 21, I rented a rusty garage with 2 guys I met during community service, Luis and Jay. We called it Second Gear. Our slogan: if it runs, we fix it. If it doesn't, we make it run. We hustled, slept on cots, did oil changes at midnight, survived on instant ramen and broken dreams. But we made it work. At 24, we bought a failing car wash and turned it into a full auto center. Car wash, repairs, coffee bar. By 26, I bought a duplex and rented it out to a single mom and her teenage son. I charged her half what the market asked. The kid came by the shop sometimes. I showed him how to change a tire, but the moment I'll never forget: last month, I bought the entire strip mall our auto shop rents from. 6 units, all mine. The guy who used to call me a lost cause, my Uncle Dan, he owns a vape shop in one of those units. He didn't even recognize me when I walked in. I handed him a clipboard with a new lease agreement. He stared at it. "Wait, this is your name?" "Yeah," I said. "You got any questions? Email my office." I didn't smirk, didn't gloat. I just turned around and walked out back to the garage, where Luis was elbow deep in an old Mustang. I remember that court date like it was burned into my brain. The courtroom smelled like dust and cheap coffee. My mom clutched her purse so tight her knuckles turned white. She couldn't even look at me. When the judge said he was giving me a second chance, she broke down in silent tears. Not out of relief, out of disbelief. Therapy didn't fix me overnight. I sat through the first 3 sessions with my arms crossed, answering in grunts. Carmen didn't push. She just let the silence hang like a challenge. On the 4th session, I told her everything: how I didn't want to become my father, how I didn't believe I'd ever be more than what people said I'd be. She didn't comfort me. She handed me a screwdriver. "Go build something," she said. "Start with your hands. The rest will follow." I took it literally. I cleaned out the garage behind our apartment building and started collecting broken things: toasters, hedge trimmers, microwaves, anything I could get my hands on. I started selling parts on Craigslist and fixing stuff for neighbors in exchange for pizza or old tools. Now, every morning when I unlock the garage, I walk past the other businesses, my tenants, and smile. Because I didn't just prove them wrong, I proved myself right.